Welcome back, everybody. This is Heather Marie Schrader, owner of Osmosis Tutoring Services, a new Northeast Wisconsin tutoring service for students in 2nd through 7th grade who struggle in math, English, and general studies. I'm coming back to you a day later than what I usually do, and it's mainly because where I live in Northeast Wisconsin, there's this snowstorm coming through. So instead of seeing these nice green fields that I was seeing for the last 2 or 3 weeks, I now have a view of snow and horribleness. I do not like snow. So, to make everyone else feel better who may be within the Wisconsin area, or even people who are just in places that are cold, and even outside of that, I'm going to sort of warm your heart with giving you some advice of figuring out how to pick a tutor. I'm going to give you the job description of a tutor, and I'm also going to give you some information on the Common Core standards for the math requirements for students in 2nd through 7th grade. So first of all, I'm going to go to my blog. I update my blog every, usually it's once to twice a week. I try to do it twice a week. It really depends how my outside jobs interfere with my ability to write. So this week I wrote 2 blog posts. The one on Saturday was the gateway to Common Core math, and then the job of a tutor, which I'm kind of combining both of them together so that you can get a little idea of some information on how to pick a tutor. And if you are a parent, or even if you are a student watching this video, you will be able to figure out the requirements for the entire year that your teacher would need to teach you for math. So the first one that I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the job of a tutor. Now I have a picture of when I was at the Chilton Middle School when I volunteered while I was in college getting my certification for teaching English as a second language. I look a little bit different in this picture, but I find this picture, I like it a lot. The special education teacher in the middle school helped take this photo, and I thought it was a great example of showing that, I can be fun-loving, but you can also be in a learning environment. So, a little bit about this. A tutor. I consider being a tutor one of the hardest but most rewarding jobs ever. There's so much that a tutor has to do to figure out how a student learns best, what a student struggles with, being communicative with the guardian or parent of the student and the student, possibly even the school systems, to figure out the best way for that student to learn. My biggest thing about being a tutor that I feel like most tutors can also agree with is that when we work with the students and we work with the guardians and the parents of the students, that we gain a professional relationship, and that is one of the most rewarding parts of the job. I absolutely think that the relationships that I gain and just the reward that I get from watching students become successful is the part that keeps me coming back. Now, a tutor. The first meeting is usually the hardest, especially if you do not have a free consultation where you get to discuss everything that would allow you to figure out everything that would need to be done. So like the subjects your student struggles with, any learning disabilities they may have, just anything that would help the tutor to plan ahead so when they see and meet you for the first time that they will have a great plan all set up for you so the student can start learning right away. Now, after the first meeting, everything goes well, but even after having a free consultation and having that first meeting, it can take sometimes up to a month for a tutor to figure out how best to work with that student. Now this doesn't mean that the student is not going to learn within that month. It just means that things are going to switch up a little bit and move around. And this can even happen after a month. But this is just for the tutor to figure out the best way to help the student learn. So each grade has certain requirements and standards that need to be met before the end of the year. That is why I talk about Common Core so often. It is the new K through 12 requirement for students. For math, there is a website called www.mathgames.com that has all the math requirements with Common Core standards for pre-K through 8th grade. But since Orthosis focuses on 2nd through 7th, I always talk about those two. But this website is a great tool for anybody who has kids that are younger and older. This website is going to tell you what each grade focuses on. They're going to give you categories of everything they work on. For example, 2nd graders, they are starting to learn geometry, addition, fractions, measurement, graphing, time, counting, number patterns, subtraction, money, number properties, mixed equations, and multiplication. For grade 2, they focus on addition and subtraction within 20, understanding the place values of 1s and 10s, and solving linear measurements and geometric shapes. So this website is going to give you all this information, and it's going to give you games. They're going to give you fun examples that the student can go through. It's a point-based system, so check it out. It's awesome. So back to being what a tutor is. A tutor also has to understand these Common Core standards, but there's also some issues with Common Core, and the solution is either going to come through the school system or it's going to come through outside help. Now there's after school help for many students. Now I don't think I've ever seen a single school that does not have after school help, where from 3 to 4 or whenever the kids get out, that the teachers don't stay behind for at least an hour to help students. I find that that's very beneficial, and you should use that time as a parent and as a student. Also, there's special education classes for students with reading and learning disabilities, ADD, ADHD, EBD students, students with physical disorders, and so forth. These special education is a service that helps students nonstop throughout the school day, not just after school. And then there's also after-school tutoring opportunities. I know that the Appleton School District has certified tutors that are available whenever a student needs. And since math and science is becoming the most popular tutoring subjects, I find that it's very important that I at least hit one of them. That's why I work with math. But the reason why math and science is so popular is because of the STEM objectives. So there are sometimes some students that fall through the cracks with special education. There's a process that you go through. I have a younger sister who's now a junior in high school who is in a reading and learning disability class, and I remember my parents going through the struggles of helping her and getting her into a special education class. I find that some parents who have come up to me whom I tutor their students, they tell me that it's just, I wish they would have been able to do this months ago. And I completely understand the struggle. I go to my sister's IEP meetings. I also go to any kind of extracurricular meetings that need to be done through the school so that I can understand if my sister is improving with specific subjects and topics and just academic learning. Sometimes it can take months, and it's not just the school system that has to get this through, it's also your doctor. Sometimes that can take a while for both the doctor and the school to correlate together. So if you have any questions about maybe the IEP setting in special education, I'm always here. You can always go to my website and go to the contact part up on the top and email me any questions you have. I will get back to you as soon as possible. And this is all I can say for today. I'm only allowed to do 10 minutes worth of recording, so I'm going to keep this a little bit shorter, and I went a little bit further into detail than what I was expecting. But if you have any questions or would like to go to my blog, just visit my website. Thanks.